Hey everyone, welcome to What's Happening in Real Estate this week. We got Conrad Zerini here with REMAX Escarpment, REMAX Niagara, Brian Hogman, Mission 35 Mortgages, and myself here with REMAX, the Golfi Team. So guys, I got to tell you something. This is something I'm going to blow your mind away. So how long do you think we've been doing this?
Like how many shows, how many episodes? Or
yeah, how many episodes, and when do you think we started this thing?
Wow,
I have no idea. It's a great
I'm going to say
question.
2 years. I feel like we've been doing it 2 years now. I feel like maybe 2 years.
Okay, so we our first episode started July 16, 2021.
Wow.
I can't believe
I can't believe it either.
Really?
And you probably thought when I introduced this thing, you go, oh, this will probably fizzle out in 3 months. And you didn't think I was going to stick to it, did you? And then, so we're almost 3 years, 34 months. And and we're estimating about 120 episodes. We figure, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Do you know that most podcasts don't get past 10? Like most times when people do things, they don't even get to 10, let alone 100. Like 100 is... Wow.
I remember Brian, you were going, yeah, we'll do it every Friday 11, and you go, okay, yeah, okay.
And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe for 6 months.
So, I said to Conrad, I'm a guy, I'm going to follow through to the end. You guys have to drop dead to be out of this show.
Yeah, we'll be a corpse. We'll be like a skeleton.
Well, Conrad's already been doing it worldwide. He's been doing it all over Europe.
I
so
know, but you know, give me, like, we have to say, we stuck it out. But you know what? I'm the guy that you don't say, we just try it.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So,
you're right.
But I got a great idea. Why don't we do this every single morning?
Yeah. Go to commercial.
Let's see if we can make it through. Oh my God. But unbelievable. I couldn't believe it when I said that's impossible. When I heard July 16, 2021, I'm like, we're going to be hitting 3 years this summer.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good.
We gotta do a
when we do the
celebration.
150, we got to do a big milestone.
Yeah, we got to do a mile 150. We're going to count. We're going to do that.
Real estate and jammies. Real estate in your pajamas.
That was.
Right.
I'm. You know what? I'm
Only
impressed.
matching,
I'm
Conrad.
impressed
Only
with
for
you guys.
matching.
Thanks for. I just want to say thank you for sticking it out with me.
Yeah.
And it's been good. I mean, like it's become part of our routine almost. Like it's,
totally.
you know what I mean? Like it's not like it's out of the way. I work my schedule around it, and you know, and we've probably missed. I'd say, how many do you think we've missed in each year? Maybe 4, the most.
I was going to say 3 to 5, maybe. At the most.
That's it.
3, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Like we're pretty well usually on.
Rob,
but anyway, that's surprising. I didn't even know those stats.
Wow.
Anyway,
Cool.
but the one thing I want to talk about is, okay, so remember there was news about 2 weeks ago. We haven't hit bottom yet, and then now they just came out. There was an article that just came out, I think this week, says we've hit bottom. Economists have said we probably hit bottom with the real estate market. We knew that. They didn't know that, but we have. Now, they're showing now signs that in Toronto, they're finding that, there's competition happening again. Yeah. And so the market is starting to bounce back slowly but surely. But, I mean, there's still good deals out there. But how I think the rest of the year is just going to be strong. So right now, you buy a house right now, and now I'm going to say less than 10 years, it's going to be more than double value.
Oh yeah,
less than 10.
I'll give you some numbers because I was going to say this makes me better because you pick a topic, Rob, and then I go, I got to get into it. So right now, the number one area that we serve, Oakville, is sitting at 37% when 100% are over. Okay, Halton 32%. Okay, Hamilton 29%, Haldeman 19%, and Niagara 18%. So it's exactly what you're saying. Comes from Toronto, makes the sweep.
It makes
right
the
over
wave
here.
down this way. It does.
It's crazy. And then, but everything is low. Like it's like 103%. It's staying at that 103%.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this. I went back. I thought, fuck this. I'm going back. Sorry.
No, good.
Wait a minute. So I went back to 2022. There was 6 for the same period, the same 2-week period. I did February 1st to today.
Yeah.
Okay. 644 sales, 626 went 100% or over.
Wow.
A whopping 125%.
No shit.
2021, 560 out of 639, 115%. Then I said, forget 2020 because that was crazy. So I went 219, a normal market, and it was 114 out of 397, which is about what we are now.
Yeah.
And it was 103%, exactly the amount it is today.
We are back to
Wow.
Back
we're
to
back.
the future, man.
We're back in a normal market where, so basically, wipe out the last 2.5 years, and we're just continuing from 2019. There you go.
Yeah.
So
the best one I saw was this house on Tolton that was 329 and went for 631, 625 square feet.
wow.
It went $1,000 a square foot on
You
Tolton.
gotta be kidding. What year was that?
2022, right at the end.
Oh, that guy there. He's living there for 20 years. I wouldn't follow up. I wouldn't prospect that guy for at least 10 years.
Don't be knocking on that guy's door.
He ain't moving. He ain't moving. 10 years from now, then say, hey, buddy, you're going to break even now. You want to sell it? But oh my God. But yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And but it's insane. So things are starting to happen. It's not it's not going to be like the crazy market with the 1.5%, 2%. In the future, in the next 50 years, do you think they'll ever drop interest rates like they did like this? This is a lesson learned, what we went through. This has never happened has this ever happened in the last 100 years with 1%, 1.5%, 2% interest?
No,
never.
And if this does happen again, I know a lot of people that will be locking in their rates and not asking for 0.95 instead of 1.5, right?
No
There'll be a
kidding.
lot more knowledgeable people out there.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
if it
before I die, I'll be telling the grandkids, say, listen, if it gets down to 2%, lock in 10 years.
Rate, Sonny. Yes. Don't
Lock
be
it.
greedy. Yes.
Don't think it's gonna go any lower because it ain't. That's it. Lock in. So, but you know what? It's crazy, but I mean, we're all laughing. We're having a good time. We did go through struggles. We did go through struggles for I'd say 18 months, and usually those struggles are usually less than 18 months. Usually recessions are usually 9 months, and then it starts climbing back up again. But we just went through a real estate recession. Now, we haven't gone through an economic recession. Is that going to happen?
Well, a lot of the
restaurants aren't doing as well as they used to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, we got to see some employment numbers changing and shifting, right?
Yeah, we're seeing the inflation number came down, which we saw earlier this week. So we saw that go down to the 2.9. So and I think as the mortgage renewals come up, people are going to pay their mortgage. I know some people think the defaults are going to go up significantly. I think we're going to see that in the private side. But I think you'll end up seeing that recession coming in the next 2-3 months, because as mortgage renewals come up, that's when the cost of borrowing actually rubber hits the road. So now they'll still make their mortgage payment, but now I'm not going to the keg. I'm not doing the extra spending. I'm not doing that stuff. So that inflationary number may, I don't know if you're actually going to see it come down, because it's a funny thing, because the interest rate in the mortgage is baked into the interest rate calculation, but then you're going to see spending and a lot of the businesses go south.
Yeah. Well, Conrad, you'd say, go to the keg, you'll know if there's a recession or not. Was that you that said that?
Yeah.
That's a good indicator.
It is. I just talked to somebody, it was their birthday. They couldn't even get in the keg. It was just last weekend. So it's still out there. But I think Brian is right. And remember, even what we talked about last week with Gen Z, they're 42% said they'd sacrifice some lifestyle to buy a house. So I think you're going to see people jump into camps like, you know what? I want a house or I want a lifestyle. I can't have both. And they got to make that decision. There's absolutely without question. So you'll start to see it. I think maybe the economists are wrong. Maybe they've talked about this light landing, last year, all throughout the year. Maybe it could be pushed off a little bit. But I think there's still strong fundamentals for real estate today. Again, everybody's talking about high-rise, no high-rise building until 2025, maybe into 2026. Everybody's, that, but the single detached on the ground and what our bread and butter and yours and yours too, Rob, and your teams.
Yeah.
You know, we're on the ground stuff, so there's good runway for people that want to invest in real estate on the ground. And luxury, I think, is really priced well right now too, as well.
Yeah,
Upper end.
good timing. So on another note, let's talk about this article in the paper. An exodus of 45,000 Ontario real estate workers has hit the industry since the slowdown, but some say Toronto still has too many agents.
Yes.
We still have too many. We're the largest real estate board in North America. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that true?
No, you're right. That's 100% true. There's nothing like Treb in the entire world. Yeah, no question.
So why, so why is it that we're so big? Why not like New York City have? Because they got probably 3-4 real estate boards there. That's probably why. Is that correct, or is it why are we bigger? Why did Toronto become so big? What is it like?
Well,
is it?
I think it's look, the housing is a sport in Canada. I think it's a strong industry, and I think. Our appreciation is much greater. In the U.S., it's not. They have 30-year mortgages, so a lot of these guys are sitting on their hands right now because mortgage rates are high. They're really dependent on mortgage rates more than we are because nobody's going to move into a new mortgage at 7. Well, they're at over 7% right now. So there's some fundamentals that different. We don't we appreciate much faster. Look, Rob, you do 3-4 deals and it's a lot of money for a real estate agent.
Yeah. Our real estate is more expensive. So now you were just telling me earlier that Toronto, the real estate board, TREB, lost a significant amount of agents in the past.
Yeah. So December they were just hovering above 76,000, and as of today, I found out they are 69,000. So they lost about 7,000 members. Yeah.
Wow. That's a big drop.
10%, almost. Good 10%. Yeah.
That's a big drop. And then where do you think those people went to?
That's a great question. Yeah, like Brian.
I was waiting for.
They're in the mortgage business now, so be careful.
It's very interesting. Well, a lot of them are part timers too, and you got to remember too. And Rob, you and I talked about this. Like in Toronto, 30,000 don't do a deal. Like I think it was. Last year was 34,000 only did one or more deals. And that's the problem. And when you're dealing with people from, that only do 1 or 2 deals, they can negotiate for you and all that kind of stuff. As a matter of fact, there was a listing from an out of town agent that, totally missed the mark on price. And it did go erratic just in this past February, but they just threw a number on it and were lazy about it. Right. So, it got undue competition for no reason. So.
Well, and I think anybody could be, with a lot of people thought anybody could be a realtor when the market was rising up, right?
Yeah.
You put in an offer, no conditions. People didn't put the value on the actual skill, like what your team does, Rob, and everybody else at REMAX there. But now today, you need to negotiate. You need to be able to read the purchase and sale. You need to know what's going to happen. And if you're not sharp, you're, like you said, that person in Treb, you're out to lunch, you're not going to make any money. And it really puts a lot of value on time in the real estate business now too.
And local knowledge.
Yeah. You know what I find is unbelievable? People will they go to a guy that is a lawyer, maybe he did go to law school, but is not a lawyer. He's working at a factory someplace, and would they use that guy as their lawyer? No. Would they? You know what I mean? Like a doctor that is probably, like he didn't get his license, but he's whatever.
He's chipping away at it. He's chipping away at being a doctor.
Yeah. But then when you're up against a guy that is in the business, and everybody's new. I'm not putting down new agents, but you're showing them all the details. You're showing them the price, the marketing, all the negotiation, everything. And this one guy comes in, he's got 0 credentials. And you go and you tell the guy, it should be listed at 900. And this guy comes in, $1,010,000 or $1,050,000. And they go with that guy, which has 0 experience, 0 knowledge, 0 negotiations. Like, what is it that people like? Why do people go? They think the highest bidder is the better. Like the highest. I don't get it. Who brings
you the best? Whoever lies to you and says your price is your house is the high, right? Things are changing now, and we're seeing it too. I think it's partly our fault. I don't think we were transparent as an industry, showing every step of the way what we were up to. We were always doing it behind the scenes. So they think, what? I can get my cousin Eddie, and God bless him. You know what I mean? And puts up a sign, and it's sold on Realtor.ca sells it. They don't look at what's going on behind the scenes, especially an organization like yours, Rob, where your Google Trends numbers are so high. People are Googling you, finding out where listings are, and they're coming to you, and you got a steady stream of buyers, and people don't understand that part of things as well. They think just anybody can, they're here and they just show up, right? You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Quick, we're pretty well out of time, but question to ask you. Okay, we know, is it British Columbia or is it just Vancouver? You have to be full-time agent. Is that true? Isn't there a city or province that you have to be? No, you got your real estate license. You got to be full-time. You can't work a part-time job.
That's interesting. I've not heard, or maybe you have to declare. Maybe you have to declare it. I think you have to. Yes, it's probably you have to declare that you have a part-time job. You can still have a license, but you have to tell people that you're doing something else. So,
gotcha.
I think it's Vancouver, British Columbia, if I'm not mistaken. So they're tough guys there. They do interesting things.
So, question with the Toronto Real Estate Board, if they lost 30,000 members, would that make the industry more professional for the rest of us? Like we said, hey, sorry. You know what? You can't be part-time here. You can't, we need or do you raise fees to get rid of some of these people that just?
I always thought it was the fee question because I know in the mortgage world,
it's the onesies and twosies that hurt the industry. The people that do the ones or twos, 2 a year, maybe that's it.
Well, the more expensive it is, the higher level of knowledge you have to have and the higher level of commitment you have to have. If it is more expensive, I know in our industry anyways, the barriers were fairly low. They're getting better now because there's more licensing and education. But the cost, if it costs you $200 to get a license, then anybody can get a license. But if it costs you $5,000 to get a license,
they're going to think
now
twice.
You really got to you got to invest in it, just like anything else.
Yeah,
but it's got to be substantial because look, 30,000 didn't do a deal. So if we wipe them out, it's still the same amount of deals.
That's right.
Right.
Actually, you're right.
You got to dip into it even further.
We got to get rid of. We got to get rid of 60,000.
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway, guys, listen, we're out of time. I appreciate your time. This is over 2.5 years. We're almost 3 years coming up in this podcast. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Rob.
Ciao, guys.